Better behave. Good evening. The January 24, 2024 council meeting of the City of Long Branch will now come to order. Roll call.
Mr. Vieira.
I'm here.
Dr. Vogt.
Here.
Mrs. Wittes.
Here.
Dr. Selly's absent. Mr. Dangler's absent.
We'll now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will now read the mission statement of the City Council. The Long Branch Mayor, City Council, and Administration are committed to cultivating an environment of mutual trust and respect that values the diversity of our community. We will strive to enhance the quality of life for all who live here, making Long Branch a desirable place in which to live and prosper. We will treat all members of the public with respect and expect the same in return. Certification?
I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and posted as required by law.
Reading and approval of previous minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes of January 10, 2024.
So moved. Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Vieira.
Yes.
Dr. Vogt.
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes.
Yes.
Dr. Selly and Mr. Dangler are absent.
Consideration of ordinance, public hearing and final consideration. 002-024. An ordinance authorizing the sale of one property on 105 Long Branch Avenue known as Block 308, Lot 32. This ordinance was introduced on January 10, 2024 and authorizes the City of Long Branch to sell vacant property. I need a motion to open the public hearing on this ordinance only.
So moved. So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If any member of the public has any comments to make on this ordinance only, please come to the podium, state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once on this ordinance.
Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch, requesting 1-minute notification. Mr. Reno, contrary to your colloquy at the last council meeting, I may remind you concerning the appraisal done on that lot, quoting the appraiser, quote, "The highest and best use was determined to be the development of a single-family dwelling with a variance for lot size," end quote. Mr. Reno, I asked at the last council meeting if introduced ordinance 124, amending and permitting single-family homes in the Broadway Gateway redevelopment zone, had anything to do with this ordinance 224 this evening for the sale of the lot. And you responded it did not. Keeping in mind the appraiser's recommendation for a single-family home, Mr. Raynon, are you aware of any single-family home developments currently in negotiation with the city along the Long Branch Avenue corridor?
No,
No. Nothing with the warehouse property or the industrial plant?
not that I'm aware of.
I'm not aware of any.
Because such a single-family development would have an impact on a lot sale. At the base of Long Branch Avenue, across at the former Chandler Maps property, has there been any discussion with the developer of building single-family house development on Chandler Maps?
No.
No. Okay. These questions have to be asked as your fiduciary responsibility for full disclosure. Has there been any negotiations between the city and New Jersey Natural Gas concerning the building of a stadium or anything else along that Long Branch Avenue remediation site?
No.
Nothing. Again, full disclosure. Mr. Raynon, the ordinance prohibits a subdivision of the lot, but not a merger of the lot, correct? Yes or no?
Ordinance requires it to merge with the adjoining lot and it cannot be subdivided, correct?
All right. Mr. Raynon, does the possibility exist that this lot merged into a contiguous lot, that contiguous lot owner can eventually in the future go before the board and seek relief, if necessary, to build on the merger?
No, because there'll be a deed restriction and the zoning board, neither the zoning board nor the planning board has the authority to grant a variance from a deed restriction.
There will be a deed restriction.
Correct.
That's the first time we're hearing this.
Well, have you read the ordinance?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you might want to read section 1C D. A condition of the sale would be that it would be deed restricted.
It may be deed restricted here. All right. However, it can be altered, as we all know, in the future. Mr. Raynon, the lot size of 105 Long Branch Avenue, according to the appraisal, is roughly 4,950 square feet. Are you aware that lots have been built in this city well below 4,950 square feet in size?
A, I'm not aware, but B, it doesn't matter because that's why we put the deed restriction language in it.
All right. Some of these lots, under the size of the current lot of 105 Ocean Avenue, were legally built with variances, and others were built more recently, illegally, without required variances or proper ordinance applied, as you are aware.
I am not aware of that.
55 Columbia Avenue, Mr. Raynon, I may remind you of that because you were the one that signed off on not putting a lien stating it was 85% built and there's nothing we can do about it.
It's a prior non-conforming use is your question is whether it was illegally built. The answer is it was legally built because they had a permit to build it, so it was done legally.
No.
And your question is whether we
1
could
minute
do it,
warning.
and I told you we could not.
There was a paper trail on that.
Sure.
Going back to the foundation, it was a legally built, wrongfully applied ordinance, and your city engineer, who you should have checked with, Lauren Newman, concurred. The ordinance applied by the former building planning director was wrong.
Well,
Mr. Raynon, does this city have an affordable housing problem?
no.
The city of Long Branch does not have an affordable housing problem.
Well, sorry. Are you talking, when you say problem, are you saying do we have a problem in terms of our Mount Laurel obligation? Is that what your question is?
Affordable housing for regular people.
So then you're talking about two different things. That's not a legal question. That's a policy question as to whether or not we.
It's not a legal question that you can
No,
answer.
well, my legal answer would be with regards to our Mount Laurel obligation because.
Yeah, I don't care about Mount Laurel.
Okay, then.
5
not the
minutes.
question to ask,
Why didn't you donate this lot to the Habitat for Humanity
because it's
to help the people in this city with affordable housing?
And we didn't want to put another house there. That was
All
the
right,
whole point.
thank you,
of it.
Mr. Lepore.
That is an incorrect answer, Mr. Raynon, because on nearby Seaview Avenue here, Habitat for Humanity built a house on a lot smaller than the one we're talking about. You should do your homework, Mr. Raynon.
Thank you. I need a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is the second reading of the ordinance 02-24. I need a motion to adopt the second and the final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Dr. Selly and Mr. Dangler are absent.
Ordinance for introduction, 003-24. This is the first reading of ordinance 03-24 entitled, an ordinance amending Chapter 345 zoning by amending subsection 345-42 off-street parking regulations. Summary. This ordinance adds a tractor trailer under subsection 345-42 4B parking areas in residential districts as a vehicle prohibited regardless of weight or classification. I need a motion to introduce on first reading, advertise and post according to law, and set public hearing for February 14, 2024. Need a
So
motion?
moved.
I need a,
Lou, we had a technical.
yeah,
Second?
we had a problem with the phone.
Oh,
It hung up on her.
I'm going to text her to call in.
yeah,
Oh, here she is. Anita?
Yeah.
Okay.
sorry.
Got disconnected.
Okay, we're doing a move and a second for ordinance 0-03-24.
Yes.
So we need a second, Anita.
Do you need a second first?
Yes.
Okay, second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Dr. Selly and Mr. Dangler are absent.
Thank you. 004-24, this is the first reading on ordinance 04-24 entitled an ordinance amending chapter 244, parking lots and meters. Attachment 1, Schedule A, meter parking areas of the Code of the City of Long Branch. Summary. This ordinance amends chapter 244, parking lots and meters of the Code of the City of Long Branch, making various changes to the Schedule A. Meter parking areas, including revise the meter parking for Madison Avenue and 2nd Avenue, and including Long Branch Avenue and Cooper Avenue to the Schedule A. I need a motion to introduce on first reading and advertise and post according to law, and set the public hearing for February 14th, 2024.
So moved. Second.
Second. Roll call?
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Dr. Selly and Mr. Dangler are absent.
005-24, this is the first reading of ordinance 05 entitled, an ordinance authorizing the sale of one property on Cottage Place known as Block 148, Lot 10. Summary. This ordinance authorizes the City of Long Branch to sell the vacant property. I need a motion to introduce the first and reading, advertise and post according to law, and set the public hearing for February 14, 2024. Roll call? I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Dr. Selly and Mr. Dangler are absent.
Public participation for resolutions and general comments. I need a motion to open the public portion of the meeting for all comments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? If there's anyone in the audience that has a comment to make, please step to the podium and state your name and address clearly for the record. You only have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Requesting 1-minute notification, Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. Mr. Rainone, at the last council meeting, I asked you if development projects that have been granted pilots forfeit their right to appeal their property assessments before either their local county tax board or the state tax court. You answered they do not. Mr. Rainone, you are currently serving as a special redevelopment attorney for Eatontown, helping guide them.
I am not. I serve as labor counsel in Eatontown, but I do not represent them in any redevelopment matters.
You do not represent Eatontown in any redevelopment matters.
I'm not. I handle some labor matters for them, but I do not do any of their redevelopment work.
As special counsel to Eatontown, you have nothing to do with redevelopment.
I may have a contract there, but I've never been assigned to do any work in Eatontown on redevelopment.
Mr. Rainone, on July 11, 2018, Pier Village 3 Urban Renewal Company sold and transferred to Charles Kushner that portion of the Pier Village 3 property that would be developed into the Wave Hotel. On the same date as that deed transfer, your predecessor, as City Attorney James Aaron, drafted an assumption and assignment of the 2017 financial agreement as required under Article 9, subsection 9.01 of the financial agreement, in order to complete the transfer of specific obligations under the agreement as it pertained to the future development of both the hotel and retail component at Pier Village 3. Mr. Rainone, why didn't you draft a similar assumption and assignment of the Pier Village 3 financial agreement as required under Article 9, subsection 9.01 of the agreement when Pier Village 3 Urban Renewal Company transferred first the retail component to Charles Kushner on February 12, 2021, and later the garage component of Pier Village 3 to Gary Barnett on June 20th, 2022? The answer, Mr. Reno?
First, we have redevelopment council that handles those matters. That's McManaman in Scotland, so I wouldn't have been the one to draft it in any event. And frankly, I'm not sure that the facts that you just laid out are exactly correct. So I think that that was a transfer. I don't think that those were transfers. I think that they were purchases of LLCs, and then they probably wouldn't have required the assumption agreement. So
You're incorrect across the board, Mr. Reno. Why is it that Mr. Aaron, the former city attorney, did it, and you, as city attorney, are now passing the buck?
it's two different transactions. You don't know the details of either of those transactions, so.
Oh, I certainly do.
No, you
I
certainly.
certainly do. I studied them, Mr. Reno, as you should have, because you wouldn't be making such erroneous answers for the past 3 council meetings.
You study them as a layman. I can't speak for what Mr. Aaron did. I certainly will, Mayor, if you would like, I'll check with Mr. McManaman and see what was done in this circumstance. But I think that those transactions were fundamentally different, and the second one didn't require the assumption agreement.
That's incorrect. Mr. Martin, at the last council meeting, you confirmed that you reached out to Mr. Botnick at Excel Development seeking copies of the annual CPA audits that are past due under the reporting requirements of Pier Village 3 financial agreement. What you didn't address is whether you have also reached out to Charles Kushner requesting his delinquent annual CPA audits covering the Wave Hotel, or if you have contacted Gary Barnett requesting his delinquent annual CPA audit covering his parking garage. Have you, Mr. Martin, reached out directly to either Charles Kushner or Gary Barnett requesting their overdue CPA audits
1 minute warning.
that are required under the terms and reporting requirements of the Pier Village 3 financial agreement?
I have reached out to the owner of the parking garage, yes.
You've reached out to Gary Barnett. Could you please explain why you have not reached out to Charles Kushner?
No, I cannot explain.
You cannot explain. The audit's overdue. I put an Oprah in on it, and you still cannot explain why Charles Kushner has not been contacted on overdue audits.
It's actually a question of who's responsible for supplying them.
So everybody on this council and dais just points the finger at each other, throws the matter under the bus, and the taxpayers in the city suffer. It's classic junk government. It speaks for itself, junk government.
Thank you, Mr. Lepore. Anyone else? I need a motion to close the public participation portion of this meeting.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I will now ask Madam Clerk if there are any changes in the list of the resolutions.
No changes have been made.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We can take a list of the resolutions as a consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Viera,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
Yes.
Dr. Selly, and Mr. Dangler are absent.
Applications. I need a motion to appoint the following members to the Long Branch Fire Department. Anastasia Smith, Phil Day, active.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Viera,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
Yes.
Dr. Selly, and Mr. Dangler are absent.
I need a motion to approve the list of the application. Renewal of taxi cab owners license for 2024.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Viera,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
Yes.
Dr. Selly, and Mr. Dangler are absent.
Thank you. Miscellaneous business for the good of the order. Councilwoman Vogt?
Thank you, Councilman Vieira. Hello to everybody. My apologies that I cannot be there in person and couldn't be in person for the rest of the meeting. I'm hoping that I will be able to get back. So hopefully I will see you all in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Wittes?
I'd like to thank everyone for being here this evening and your participation. And just want to take a moment to thank our administration and staff for all their hard work on everything that they do every day. We truly appreciate it. And I know sometimes it's not recognized, but, you know, we see all the wonderful things that are going on, and none of this would have been possible without all of your hard work and support. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Giampolone?
Thank you, Councilman. I just want to remind everybody that Holiday Beach Badge sales with the special pricing ends January 31st, which is next week. If you'd like to pick one up, call Recreation for more information. The city calendars have been mailed. Most people have gotten them. If you did not get yours, please stop by City Hall and you could pick one up. And finally, the Amish quilt exhibition that's currently on display at our Arts Center. That's until also January 31st next week. Next month, we'll have an exhibition for Black History Month. Please check our website for all current information and future exhibits. Thank you. Have a nice day. Night.
Thank you, Mayor Pallone. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, Chiefs, coming up. Thank you, Director, for being here with us. Thanks to the public back there. And I also want to echo what Councilwoman Rose Wettis said about the administration, employees that make this place happen. Big shout out to them. And thank you. Come out. Good night. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.